Hello and welcome. In this session we'll recreate the three arcs on the left hand side of the screen and construct them on the right hand side using arcpolar and arcpolar endpoints. The origin, our x0, y0, z0, is positioned at the center of this grid on the right hand side, and for the example on the left, the origin is simulated here at the intersection of these two lines. Now let's review the arcs on the left hand side and find out what we know about these three arcs. Well, they all have a radius of 0.5. For this arc, we know the center point is at the origin, x0, y0, z0. We know the start angle is at 0 degrees and the end angle is at 125 degrees. Moving over to the left, this arc, we know the end point is at the end point of this first arc. We don't know where the center is, and we don't know exactly where this end point is located. Now for this arc on the left hand side, we know that the start point is at the end point of this arc. We're not quite sure where the center is, but we do know the start angle is 0 degrees and the end angle is 180 degrees. For this first arc that we're going to create, I'm going to move up into Create Arc and select Arc Polar. Now the first thing I'm going to set up is the radius, so I'm going to click in the white space for radius and type in 0.5, enter. Now here's my first prompt, enter the center point. So what I'm going to do is move up to the auto cursor ribbon bar. I'm going to open up this drop down, and what I can do is select origin. Now we move on to the next prompt, sketch the initial angle. This start angle is at 0 degrees, and all I'm going to do is pick this line, and as you can see up in the start angle we have 0 degrees. Moving over just to the right, the end angle, I'm going to click in this white space, and the end angle is 125 degrees, and there's our first arc. Looks good. Now before we move on, let's review some of the buttons in this ribbon bar. Starting up on the left, this button will allow us to edit the center point. Just to the right is the flip button. I'm going to pick it, and as you can see it's flipped over to the other side. I'm just going to flip it back again. Just to the right we have the section for radius. Next door is diameter. Just to the right, our start angle and end angle of this arc. And just to the right we have the button that allows us to create entities tangent to other entities. Next door we have apply, OK, and then the question mark which will access help. Everything looks good here. I'm going to pick OK on the ribbon bar. Now for the next arc, I'm going to use Arc Polar Endpoint. I'm going to move up to the toolbar, open up this drop down and select Arc Polar Endpoints. Now the first thing I'm going to do is move up to the ribbon bar and set the radius to 0.5. Now it's prompting me for the start point. Well, just a note here, Mastercam creates arcs and circles in a counterclockwise direction, and I'm not quite sure where the start point is. So what I'm going to do is move up to the ribbon bar and click on this button for endpoint. I'm just going to move on down now and pick the endpoint of this first arc that I've created. Now moving up to the ribbon bar, you can see I have the radius already set. Now for the start angle. Well, the start angle is 180 degrees. So I'm going to type in 180 and then hit the Tab button. Now for the end angle, what we've got is, this is 180 degrees, 270, and 270 plus 55 will give us our end angle. So what I'm going to do is type in 270 plus 55 and then hit enter. And there's our arc. It looks great. So what I'm going to do now is hit apply. Now for our third and final arc, well, we know the start point is at the end point of this arc. So what I'm going to do is head up back to the ribbon bar and click on start point. I'm going to move on down and pick the end point of this arc. Now the radius is already set. Let's move on over to the start angle. Well, the start angle for this arc is at 0 degrees. I'm going to tab over, and the end angle for this arc is at 180. And I'm going to hit enter. And there's our arc. Looks great. I'm going to move up to the ribbon bar and click on OK. That completes this session on polar arcs. Thanks for watching.